For those of you who don't know me, I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Marvene Green. I don't have a middle name. I didn't hyphenate my married and maiden name. There are no commas, periods, or exclamation marks with my name. The last name deals with a color, but it has nothing in particular to do with my race. I do have a few pseudonyms, and I do use aliases when I don't want to be known. And I use a lot when I go online. Now, the reason I'm bringing up this issue of names is because if you notice in the Bible and a lot of other places, there's something that happens with names. For instance, Abram was changed to Abraham, and he formed a new covenant with God. Saul became Paul, and he was less of a terrorist to the Jewish people, even though he was supposed to be a Jew, but he was also a Roman citizen. According to the Kabbalah, there are 72 names of God, but only one God. And according to goddess tradition, there's a goddess of 10,000 names, and each one represents an aspect. And I was once challenged to name all 10,000 of her names. Now, as a side note, being the pleasant, calm person I am, I have had a conflict with a person, a relative, for 71 years. I'm 76, so you know I was 5 years old when this began. But it had to do with the fact that I was ill, and I got a lot of attention because people pay attention to ill children. And so other children were not perhaps as well paid attention to as I was given the kind of, support I received. And that resentment has lasted all these years. Now, there have been times when we were able to, have some kind of relationship, but it never lasted long. Because I would forgive and forget and try to put behind me whatever was happening. I would apologize at times when I really didn't need to. But I wanted to have this relationship that most of my family had with each other. And it was strongly encouraged amongst us that we support one another and stand behind each other. But that could not occur with us because it just wouldn't last. So after years and years of forgiving and forgetting, I finally decided the best way to love was from a distance. And I kept that distance, and I came to peace with that distance. Now, here lately, and to be honest with you, I greatly admired her. I wanted to meet her. She was a strong character. She knew where she was going, what she wanted, and she did what she wanted. And I envied that. I was around her like a little puppy, just following her everywhere. And she greatly resented that. So eventually, I stopped doing that, and as I got older, I came to understand that I had a life of my own, and my own gifts and talents. Here lately, as we have both gotten older, certain things have changed with her that we've noticed. And she's not as astute as she was. And she's being scammed. And the family members who are trying to help have been alienated by her because she can really have a temper. And gradually they've dropped off one by one, and they've stopped involving themselves with her. So one member of the family is still there. She's still doing her best to hang in and help, but she's not able to give this help like she could if she were in a better condition. So she's come to ask me to step in and help her help this person. That opened some wounds that I had laid to the side and thought I had dismissed. I thought I'd gotten rid of them, but when this situation came up, I really felt deeply that I should have been helping, but I also resented being coerced into that position. I really felt there were other people who should have stayed the course like I did with several other family members. But I also felt guilty because I didn't feel I was doing my part of it. And so a time or two I would involve myself. I'm not allowed in her house. She doesn't speak to me. I'm not in any way a part of what she wants to be bothered with, even after all of these years. So several times I would drop stuff off and somebody else would have to take them to her, and she would never thank me or even acknowledge I was there. And so I became a lot bitter. You know, I don't want to do this, I don't want to be back there, I don't want these things reopened. And so as the coercion got worse, I began to feel more guilty. And during one of my morning meditations, I said, I was trying to meditate, it was impossible. I could not focus, I could not keep my mind on what I was doing, and I kept getting rolled back into the angry mode. And finally I said, God, you're going to have to tell me what to do. And the answer I got was, change her name. And I said, are you kidding? I mean, you know, I've changed her name a few times and you don't want to know what it was. Anyway, I said, what is this? And you're expecting something really profound, something that's going, and it said again, change her name. I came up with a name, and it was the name she uses for herself. And so anyway, I gave her that name, and the minute I did, the past just became a clean slate. It was just gone. And it wasn't that it was gone that I had forgotten or anything like that. I was clear about the past. But something about it just vanished. And so, and then the name I'd given her that she had used for herself became a clean slate as well. Because I was able to let go of that past and have a clean slate with a new name for this person. And there was no sense of anger or distress or anything. This was a different person. And it was a different person because I was a different person. And because I could see her differently. And because I could release this old person and just become another one. So since then, everything, I've been able to do my task without any stigma attached, without any anger, without anything attached to it. I want to end with this. Maybe some of the conflicts we're having now, maybe we need to change the name of who we have the conflict with. And I mean this worldwide. Change the name. And when you change the name, open the way to a better path. And maybe you should just give those people the name they give themselves. So I thank you, and I hope that helps someone.